So today I'm making chocolate peanut martabak. It's basically a Indonesian version of a buttermilk thick pancake. I don't think this is a hard dessert to make. I might be wrong. I don't know. I don't think it's hard. It is one of my favorite desserts because it's so buttery and chocolatey. It's just so thick. It's delicious. Delicious buttery goodness. Alright, so I am using a recipe that I found online. It doesn't look like there's a lot of ingredients that go into it, which is great. Pretty much everything you need for a regular pancake. We're gonna measure out 125 grams of flour. 125 grams. Okay, so this recipe basically says measure all these out and mix it all together. So that's what we're doing. And then apparently you let it rest. So we've got 125 grams of flour. I'm having this recipe, so it's 1/8 of a cup. I don't have 1/8 of a cup, so 1/8 of a cup is 1/2 of a quarter of a cup. So just do it by eye. 1/4 of a teaspoon of salt, using some more of David's kosher salt. That goes in there. And then it says vanilla powder. I'm just gonna be using regular vanilla extract. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna put this right after I put the water, just so it doesn't go into all the dry ingredients. So it says 1 egg. Ta-da. Whoop. Now, time to put 175 mils of water. So I've got my 125 mils and a 60 ml cup. I know that's 10 mils more, but I'll just, that's fine. We're doing this roughly. And then, so now we put the vanilla. So that was 1/4 teaspoon. I'm just using my fingers because there's a lot stuck in here. Oh shit, I didn't do my baking powder. I thought there was something missing. So it's 1/4 teaspoon of baking powder. And just make sure you read which one it is, because we're gonna use both baking soda and baking powder, but the baking soda is going to be used later on for, I suppose, a different reaction. So whisk away until smooth and even. You can use a hand mixer if you want. I've seen a lot of YouTube recipes of this, and everyone keeps saying that you need to mix the batter until it's even and smooth and no lumps. Just checking my batter to see if there are any lumps, and I can see that there's a couple of just tiny lumps that you can see. I just need to make sure they're lumpless. The normal person in me says don't sieve CBF, and then after I do something and I realize I should have sieved it, always makes me think I should always sieve things. Okay, let's give this a shot. This looks good enough. So the next steps are, it says, set aside, let it rest for an hour. And after that 1 hour, that's when you add your because the recipe was, there was a typo. No, we're fine. We are fine. It says you're meant to add the baking soda after you've rested it. But then in the recipe it says add your baking powder. So I was like, ugh. I always think that when someone writes their ingredients on a recipe, that's usually the right way. Sometimes people, when they write the method of it and it goes a little bit, but otherwise, ingredients usually say the right things. Okay, we're gonna let it rest. We're going to cover this babe up. So the resting period, I'm assuming, is for like all the aeration to happen, because if you've had martabak or seen a martabak before, it's a very airy. So rest 1 hour, 6 p.m. It's gonna be dinner. So the topping, let's talk toppings for martabak. There's this chocolate sprinkles that you get in Indonesia, it's called meses, and it's the best, and it's the one that you want for this, but I don't know where to get it from, and it's ISO lockdowns. So I'm going to be using Nutella. Good old Nutella. And some crushed peanuts. That's what I'll be doing. God, I hope this is as good as the images look. So now we're gonna open it and add 1/4 teaspoon of baking soda. Add my 1/4 teaspoon. Add that in. Now we're just gonna mix it together until combined, it says. I'm assuming that there's a reaction that's meant to happen by adding the bicarb soda in after. Cool. So we've put that in. Now we're gonna heat up our pan. Non-stick pan. I'm not sure what dimension this is. We're gonna be using it because I have a lid for it. We're waiting. Preheat non-stick skillet over low heat. I've seen a lot of videos on YouTube of people doing this. They always like some water, so I'll be doing that. Oh, okay, she's hot. I'll just turn it down a tiny bit. It said low. When you pour the batter in, we'll just swirl it a tiny bit around to create a thin crust. Wait, let me just read the recipes again. It says, okay, cool. I mean, it says pour the batter into the pan to make the side part crispy, coat slightly around using a ladle. So there's no butter, no oil, no nothing, just a non-stick pan / skillet. I'm kind of nervous. Okay, ready? Do this fast. Okay, so that's in there. And then we're just gonna twirl the guy a little bit. All right. Looks pretty good. And it doesn't say how long, but basically it says when bubbles start appear, sprinkle it with sugar. I'm not doing that because I don't need extra sugar in mine. We love super sweet desserts in Indonesia, but I'm already using Nutella and I don't need it to be extra sweet, so I'm leaving it. It's gonna kind of look like a pancake. You know when you make a pancake, before you flip it over, bubbles start appearing? This is gonna be, hopefully, what it's supposed to look like is very bubbly across the entire surface. Like what's happening here, that's supposed to happen around the whole thing. So I'm just gonna leave it for a little bit before I cover it again. The recipe is very vague. It doesn't say how long. Bake until it's cooked, until it's golden. I can't see if it's golden unless I touch it, but if you've made pancakes before, you don't want to touch it yet. Okay, ooh, okay. It looks like there's, whoa, this is really cool. So there's definitely way more bubbling happening. Can you see? Around there. I'm just gonna let a couple more happen here before I cover the pan. My lid is just a little bit wet. Oh, ooh, look. I think it's happening. I don't know what's happening, but I should have done this before. It's all right. It's an 1/8, very little amount of unsalted peanuts. Just roughly. Actually, chop it a bit smaller. Not roughly chop because you don't want huge peanut chunks. I suggest you do this during your waiting an hour. Okay, I think she's looking super good. Until the sides and nice and golden. So, I think that looks pretty damn good. Maybe there's just a little bit more here that's a little bit wet. So let me just cover that back again. So I've got my board out to put once it's ready. I'll put all this away. Okay. What I'm topping it with was Nutella and peanuts. I've got it here ready and I've just got to get butter. All right, it smells like it's ready. Okay, it's ready. That's done. Take that off the heat. And then it says, transfer onto a big plate and quickly spread it. All right. We're gonna put it, okay. Looks pretty good. Okay, so we'll put it here. And the idea is to do this quickly because butter needs to melt and ooze all into this grill. You should see when it's done in Indonesia because literally they'd get like a whole slab of butter and go, well, put that much. The idea is that the butter melts into these holes. Like it's a buttery dessert. She looks pretty good now. I didn't realize how fast this was gonna be. I'm actually like nervous because I hope it works out. Okay, blah, 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 blah. Now, this is topped with chocolate sprinkles, crushed peanuts, and condensed milk. We are doing Nutella and peanuts. So, here's my Nutella. I don't know how much this is. Do it as you please. Currently, I've got a tablespoon of Nutella. And we spread. See, clearly you need more than that. You should see when they do this in Indonesia, holy cannoli, so much chocolate. This is nothing. Okay, so make sure everything is covered. Last thing you want is a section that doesn't have any Nutella. And now you sprinkle. Dun, dun, dun. She says, cut the pancake into half and gently flip half the pancake over the half, spread with more butter, and then serve. What it is it folds onto itself. So we're gonna cut into half. Yeah. Oh my God, legit. Okay, we'll have to do a little bit of butter on top. And I'm gonna put a little bit more. See, it looks like a pancake from the top, like a regular pancake. Yum, just melt, melt, melt. I'm gonna cut it again. I'm just gonna cut a small piece here. Oh, yes. Okay, so that's what the inside's meant to look like. It puffed up and it's raised so much, and the butter and the Nutella and all that just seeps in and just makes it really nice. It looks pretty dang good. Okay. Oh my God, holy shit. Wow. Oh, can you hear that? I am so proud of myself right now. My eyes are watering because it's so good. It makes me miss home. It's really good. The end. It's freaking delicious. This recipe did work out. So if you have the ingredients and you've had it before, or if you haven't, try it. It's epic. And we out.